Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Ho.
Okay, it's actually Adam. You're listening to Clippers Talk. It's Chris Paul's reintroductory presser today. Welcome to the show.
Here we go, Clips fans.
Clippers Talk with Adam Osland. After every game, download every pod. Clippers Talk's the name. He's a basketball talking golden god.
New episodes after every game on demand.
Follow Clippers Talk wherever you get your podcasts. Clippers.
So that was kind of a take two thing here, because I couldn't see the chat earlier, not because I screwed it up and didn't play the audio at the right time. But we will be streaming for you guys here CP3's reintroductory presser. Why am I not there? So I could be here with you guys. Because if I'm sitting there as one of the media members, I can't be talking to you with the headset on. You're not going to hear much anyways. I'm not sure if they are streaming it or not, but we will have plenty of quotes to get to and dig into. From Blah Murray, Joey Lynn, Tomer Azarly, Justin Russo, the usuals. And then maybe we'll have a guest afterwards for you guys. Good to see everybody in here. Glad to see I don't think I lost anyone from my rant that went entirely too long on the last show about Happy Gilmore 2. Yeah. I probably took that too far. I couldn't help myself. What does Christoph Waltz say in Django Unchained? I couldn't resist. But I'm going to double down. I know sequels aren't great. I know that's not why you're here. But we have a little bit of time to kill at the moment. And I just want to point out that it's not just me that felt the way I did about how bad this movie was and how they went back to the original and had to use and recycle all the old jokes, like this one right here. Just have them do the line here in the new movie. Don't go back to showing us the old movie.
Got the name tag.
You're in my world now, Grandma.
You're in my world now.
Do they think we're so stupid that until that point we wouldn't have recognized who this character is? We wouldn't have recognized that's Ben Stiller? We f***ing know. We're well aware. So check this out. I thought maybe I was crazy, like Shooter McGavin. Locked in an insane asylum for 29 years, plotting my revenge against Happy Gilmore just to get out and then befriend him after a corny fist fight where they paid homage at a cemetery to all the characters and actors who had died between movies. I thought maybe I was alone in the room with the straitjacket. Turns out I'm not. I found there are dozens of us.
Do they think we don't remember Happy Gilmore? I would imagine 90% of the people watching this movie are big fans of the first. And they can probably quote the movie pretty heavily. So when Hal says, check out the name tag, you're in my world now, Grandma. We know that. You don't need to play it back. Adam, do they?
This guy's name on YouTube is actually Adam Does Movies. So that was kind of appropriate. That came out from him today. So we didn't steal each other's take. I mean, if anyone stole a take, it was him stealing mine, not me, mine stealing him. I did mine on Saturday, I think. Then there's this guy too.
This thing is so reliant on nostalgia for the original film that it's basically almost a sizzle reel for the original, which is very bizarre because every single moment that they're about to do a callback line or revisit some kind of a gag from the original film, they literally prelude it with like a 10 to 15 second flashback sequence, as if we don't remember or have never seen the original film. So they need to remind us who Ben Stiller's character is. They need to remind us who Chubbs is. And that choice just creates a myriad of confusing problems. First of all, it gets very annoying and borderline insulting as a fan of the original to have the movie consistently treat you as stupid as if you don't remember iconic moments and characters from the movie you very clearly love.
That's what I said.
But also, the jokes don't work if you don't already have that pre-established love and knowledge of the original film. So it leaves you with this question of, who is this movie for? Because if it's for fans of the original, I don't need all these little preludes. If it's for brand new fans, none of these jokes land because they don't know what the fuck you're referencing.
Man, I wish my father was here to see this.
Yeah, jackass! Jackass! Jackass!
There he is.
Unfortunately, he's in the great sizzler in the sky.
Added in with the fact that it makes all these gags all the more cringeworthy. Like most of these long-awaited sequels to classic comedies that try to do this, and they all do, they try to recycle an iconic bit, and it's never anywhere near as good or as funny as the original.
Nope.
It's even worse when they prelude it with an entire flashback sequence. It's like joke cliff notes. And the amount of times that the movie relies on these moments to be its best gags and its best segments, it's just kind of sad and upsetting. Like every single bit from the original film has to be referenced. Every single character has to make a return here. If the actor has died, then we'll just insert a random person as that character's son and then recycle the exact same bit. Oh, you're Chubbs' son. Oh, and you also have a wooden hand. Let me grab it and crush it just like I did in the first film. Isn't that hilarious?
So this is me shamelessly proving my point by bringing in supporters and people who are more well known for their movie takes that felt the exact same way that I did in every way. So at the risk of doing what Happy Gilmore 2 did, rehashing everything, I'm not going to do that here. If you want to check out that show where I went at Happy Gilmore 2 for a good half hour, it's in the live section. Just happened on Saturday. And I do want to apologize to the great Julie Bowen and no one else, because if she was offended by the rant, well, she's a Clippers fan. But my point, if Julie ever saw this video, would be, I was upset because they killed off your character, Virginia Bennett. They killed her off right away. They undid the ending of the original Happy Gilmore. He loses you, loses grandma's house. Like, it's awful. Okay, I'm done outside of connecting this movie to CP3, because some may do that. I'm going to tell you there's actually a disconnect here. This Chris Paul signing is not a nostalgia play. It's not member berries. It's not remember when you hit the game winner against the San Antonio Spurs in 2015. Okay, there's some of that. You can do that. But he's not just here, as some have accused, to sell tickets. This is a substantive move. It makes the Clippers better. He is exactly what they need on nights when James Harden is out, who played heavy minutes last season, almost 3,000. More on that in a little bit. This guy helps them win. In fact, Orange Frank mentioned how number one is his ability to help impact winning. And then secondary was someone who's been so important to the franchise to be able to bring him back in the fold. So this is not Happy Gilmore 2, a shameless cash grab, or just them trying to reach back to their glory days and get people to say, hey, remember that? That was so fun. Lob City. No, CP3 is here to help them win today. Just wanted to get that out there. Now, I don't know if they're going to be live streaming on the Clippers YouTube channel. I checked FanDuel TV and I didn't see anything scheduled for today. I'll check out the Clippers official YouTube channel You may be surprised. This is not their official YouTube channel that I'm on currently. Just in case there's something here and a live stream coming, just going to be monitoring that. But at worst, we're going to have plenty of quotes coming out from the presser. And hey, guess what? We already got some good stuff. In fact, fans are lining up to, I guess, get into the arena to see CP3. Is he going to be at center court? I did mention this kind of jokingly. It's like, if you're going to bring fans in for the CP3 reintroductory press conference, then they could fill up the Intuit Dome. And fans apparently are lining up outside. And this is what the Halo board looks like. How awesome is that? They're doing this right. They're going all out, as they should. It is a monumental day for Clippers fans. Return of the King, prodigal son, whatever you want to say. I'm just glad he's back because he can help first and foremost. He can start, straight up start, when James Harden is out. That is a huge difference from last year's team to this year's. Here's some fans outside. This is coming from Joey Lynn. Look at this line.
The first 100 people wanted to buy a jersey.
Yeah, same.
Okay, I didn't know it was going to be this lit. Now I'm having some FOMO. So you guys are going to have to make up for it, because the reason I'm not there is for you. Because I wouldn't be able to do this live stream if I was there. Not in the same way, at least. I'm hoping we can go through all the quotes together, overanalyze everything, celebrate CP3 being back, and just be in community here for those who aren't at Intuit Dome. That's what this is. I know that Mexican Nara, when James Harden is out, he can start. Win, the operative word there. Some of you are saying, yes, we just want to win. They're going to raise his jersey. They're not going to retire his jersey, I don't think, before he plays a game back with the Clippers. Some of you are so happy. Expletives are flying like they were out of my mouth for the Happy Gilmore 2 review last show. CP3 is effing back, guys. I am really happy. This is actually the perfect thing to wash the bad taste out of my mouth from eating shit for breakfast when I watched Happy Gilmore 2. I was vindicated. I was right. Someone's saying if we were all 40-year-olds when the original came out, I doubt we would have been as big of fans of the original. So are Gen Zers and kids loving the new movie because they're young when it came out? Do they think it's amazing? I haven't heard that. Someone else said, wrong movie to pick apart, Adam. It was clearly a cash grab. Adam Sandler said the reason, this was years ago when he was asked about doing a sequel to Happy Gilmore, he said the reason he wouldn't do it is because he'd be too afraid to let everyone down. Well, he was right. He let us down. Adam Sandler, I know, nice guy. Everybody loves him. He just wants to get everybody paid, bring all his friends back, Rob Schneider, get his family in movies. It's commendable to some degree, but for the rest of us who just want to see a good movie, it's like, and not the charity stuff involved. Yeah, I did enjoy it. Law Murray pointing out the microphone. CP3 will be speaking into. I wonder if they're going to have it in the media room like they typically do, and then project it out on the Halo board for the fans entering the arena in the stands. That would be a nice touch to accommodate the fans and the media all at once and utilize everything at their disposal out into a dome. This is part of the reason you want to have your own home and have the best arena in sports. Press conference supposed to start at 3:30. Today, Junior, it is 3:30. We are almost ready. Mio said, how high up the list is CP3 of greatest players to never win a chip? Pretty high, since I would say he's the greatest point guard to never win one. Yes, I think he's better than John Stockton. Count how many 30-point games John Stockton had. Some are betting on Spinal Tap 2 being good. Well, let's not start. I don't want to say a line from The Wolf in Pulp Fiction there, get myself in trouble. We'll see if they can turn it up to 11 or if it's a shit sandwich. This is washing away. Happy Gilmore 2. I'm getting back to my happy place now with the Clippers, with CP3 returning, with him being able to fill a vital role in this team, to be the guy. They've tried so many different point guards. Well, they do have a starting one now in James Harden. Now you have a great backup. I think he's going to be able to do more for them than Rondo or John Wall or some of these guys they tried out in the past. I'll get into some of the numbers here in a little bit, but just how good he was last season, I think it will surprise you guys. A lot of people are coming into this just assuming he's washed. He's far from it. That's not the case. That's the casual take. We must do better. Now, if any of you see a live stream somewhere of the press conference, be sure to let me know in the comment section and we can stream it and watch together. I just don't know if that's going to happen. It hasn't happened yet for one of these recently, and I don't think it's on FanDuel TV because I checked their programming schedule and this cat just clawed the F out of me to get up the chair. Tuka, relax. I know you're excited about Chris Paul. Not as excited as you would be if the Carolina Panthers retired Biaka Batuka's jersey or put him into the Ring of Honor because she's named after Biaka Batuka. If you don't know, look him up. 90s running back, pretty big time at Michigan. Get down. It's good to see you guys in here. Dita Mari's in here. Not going to address the Dante Jones thing. Neil said the amount of league starting quality lineups that can be generated from this roster is absurd. I'm with you. It's being streamed on the NBA app. What is the NBA app? NBA TV? Is that NBA TV? No, they have the 1972 All-Star game on. NBA app. NBA.com? Show me how to get there. Show me the way. Yes, shout out Tuka. Drop a link in here if you know a way to stream this live. Otherwise, it's on NBA TV or NBA.com, it looks like. Will it let me get in? Open, 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 open. The more buzz around this, the more I'm getting kind of upset with myself for not being there. But I'm here with you guys, and this is just as good. Maybe better. How many advertisements will we give to NBA.com because of this? There was an error. What do you mean there was an error? What do you mean there's an error? Don't tell me there's an error. Don't let technology end this. Come on. I went through a Samsung ad that you guys didn't have to see, and then it gave me an error. He's here. He's here. He's here. Guess what?
A lot more and get a chance to compete and play for a championship. And I'm sorry, before I answer anything else, I just want to say thank you so much to, first and foremost, the San Antonio Spurs, to the Hope family, to R.C. Buford, to Greg Popovich, the legend himself, to Mitch Johnson, who coached us this past year, and all my teammates. You know, without this past year in San Antonio, if that doesn't happen, I don't have this opportunity to actually come back here and play this year. So thank you so much to the Spurs and their organization.
Don't buffer on me. Don't you effing buffer on me. Don't you effing buffer on me. Don't you dare. Don't do it. Technology, don't fail me now. Oh, come on. Exit the live screen. Did anybody else's stream stop? Pause. Play. Hip, hip, hooray. Come on. No. I'm going to get Happy Gilmore levels of mad. Are you too good for your home? What the F is this? Is it because they know I'm streaming it? Am I getting in trouble? Are we still on? Guys? Bueller? Walker? All right, I'm going to try to refresh the page, hit it again. You got to be kidding me. I want to hear from the reporters what questions are being asked. Yeah, show me the advertisement again.
One eye on an edit, 1 foot on a trail, and one on this guy. Why settle for glass buttons? This is a real flex. Can your phone do that?
Why don't you flex this press conference? Give it to me straight.
Experiences make you who you are, and this fan base from day one, you know, the way they took me and my family in and cheered for us, and aside from the games or whatnot, life. So all my teammates, Blake, DJ, all the guys over the years, that it's been a lot of history here, and hopefully we can create more.
Chris, hi, right here. The other day, Lawrence was talking about your relationship with Steve and how you guys have remained cordial over the years since your trade, and how your trade also allowed the Clippers to stay relevant and basically keep competing since then.
You fucking... All right, there's going to be some language here if this keeps freezing. You know what? I could go to NBC4. I could go somewhere else. I could try something else. This is absolute... No, I don't see it on NBC4. I just went there on my TV. I was lied to. Come on, man. I already went through the advertisement. Don't do this. How could you? Chris, come back. It felt like it froze right around the same time as last time. Don't make me go to Stream East or something. Just give me the damn press conference. This is... I'm in hell. Technology is failing me. NBC LA YouTube. Oh, okay. I got you, dog. I got you. NBC LA. NBC LA. I'm there. I'm there. I got the live thing. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
So how are you approaching that? Are you sharing that approach, or do you, are you, how open are you?
I'm just in it, to tell you the truth. I'm still in it, right? Day in and day out, enjoying it, right? Because like I said, you live and you learn not to take things for granted. I was home this morning, and tell you the truth, my wife and my kids probably tired of me already, because ever since I got the news, every time we home, I'm just jumping around talking about I'm home. But I got a chance to lift weights this morning with my son, my daughter. We just came from an AAU tournament for her. So anybody here that got pets, family, anything like that,
Tuka.
sometimes it's just nice to be in your people's space, right? No matter if you talking, matter if you watching TV or anything like that. So it's just been really cool to be around my family and know that the countdown hasn't started for me to leave again. And so I think that's what I'm most happy and thinking about right now.
Love that, Chris.
Chris, you beat the Clippers with the Suns to make it to the finals a handful of years ago, and
Dave McMenamin.
Could you ever comprehend coming back to the team at that point? And then just along those lines, it's a crowded Western Conference, but you guys have a lot of talent. Where do you think your group is in the West, and what's the chance of making another trip to the finals with this group?
Good question.
You know what's crazy is I think about that game, right, which I'll never forget. Obviously, that was the first time I made it to the NBA Finals. And I think all the emotions that night came from it being my first time going to the finals and doing it here in LA against my extended family. You know, the people that still work for the team or whatnot, who have literally watched me grow up, and I looked up and in a box was my family, you know. And if I'm really honest, I wanted to get back and play here by any means necessary, right? I didn't even care what the team looked like. I just want to be home, be here with the Clippers. And to tell you, man, I'm just so excited about the moves that the team has made this offseason, right? And Brad coming to the team, Brooke Lopez, all the young guys. I talked to James, I talked to Kawhi, you know, and I'm even more excited about what I think we have a chance to do.
No, I'm excited. Let's go.
Chris, right here on the aisle. I think Lawrence had said last week that one of the things that attracted you was the Clippers have a philosophy that they're not going to tear down. Like every year, they're going to try to maximize their chances to win. And a lot's been made about this roster's age, kind of in a younger West. I'm just curious about what you see as this team's path to winning, to being that contender class.
Yeah, I haven't got that deep and thought about it yet, to tell you the truth. But I know that there'll be conversations. There's a lot of time for that. And aside from everything else, too, I'm going to tell you, I'm excited to play for T. Lue, right? See, people probably don't remember, T. Lue was my assistant coach when I was here with the Clippers. And we've stayed close over the years or whatnot. And what makes T. Lue different from a lot of coaches, there's a lot of great coaches in this league, but T. Lue is one of the coaches that I think teams, like, you have to prepare for him too. It's weird being on other teams playing against the Clippers, because a lot of times you're just scouting, like, how do we stop Kawhi? How do we stop this? But, you know, just know a lot of teams respect T. Lue and his ability, so I'm excited to be over there too.
Funny that there's T.
Good
Lue
afternoon
haters.
and welcome back. So you mentioned that you've had an opportunity to speak with some of your new teammates. I'm just curious as to what those conversations have been like.
Nothing crazy. Just with James and Kawhi and Brad, me and Brad actually worked out together in Augusta. We've known each other for a while. And then some of the, I talked to Bogey, me and Nick texted, but it's the summertime, right? It's just pretty much a check-in, you know, letting guys know that you're excited about this opportunity. And I think because I've played long enough, this is sort of that time where guys get to enjoy their family, enjoy their time off. And when it's time to lock in, we will.
Chris, you mentioned you're thrilled to be back by your family, but how are your kids feeling having dad back in their business every minute?
Yeah, that's a good question. You have to ask them. Which to tell you the truth, I don't think for 1 second it's going to be easy, right? It's going to be an adjustment for all of us, especially for them, for my wife, for my brother, his family. I'm excited about like really being an uncle, right? Because I grew up around all my
The unction.
family, and that stuff is important. And so for them not to just see me on TV or a quick 2-minute phone call on the way to school or whatnot, yeah, they know how I am. So we'll see how that goes.
And also, how's it going to feel with you and LeBron repping the 40-something crowd in this town?
It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool. Like I said, it's a lot of gratitude or whatnot to still get a chance to play at this age or whatnot. But I've always believed in keep stacking days, right? And that you just have to show up every single day. So that's what I plan on bringing to this team, is that no matter, you never get too high, never get too low. My role on this team is obviously different than it's been the past 20 years being in the NBA, but showing up every day, if I can show some of the guys what it looks like every day to clock in and clock out, I'm excited for it.
Chris, Grant, nice to meet you. Welcome back.
Grant Bono.
You talked about Intuit Dome and how far the organization has come. You talked about your family, the fans. When you were here, getting that standing ovation when you're sitting as a fan. What do the fans mean to you, and what did that ovation mean to you? Just getting that reception from the fans.
Good question.
And it meant everything. I can't imagine what it's going to be like to play here. Even changing teams and playing as a visitor, to come and see a lot of the familiar faces or the fans when I'm around, right? When I'm around during the summer, or my kids on teams, or my daughter's on a team, and the parents say that they're season ticket holders and they've been here for a long time, is something I don't always take for granted. I remember, what was it, clip section 114? They got a mean air conditioning unit in here, I tell you that much. I tell you that much. But I remember Clippers section 114, right? Just about every game we used to score a lot of points back then. Obviously, it'd be 150, 160 now in the league. But it was a section that we would look up at. It was clip section 114. And I remember they always said if we ever scored 114 points on the dot, they would go get tatted. And they did it. They did it. And I remember my brother used to have floor seats, and it was one of the games that he couldn't come to. And I remember Instagramming, telling two of the people who sit there that they could come sit and watch the game there. So the fans here are like none other. They are really fans of the game. So to see the wall and to see all the creativity in here, I'm probably a little biased, but I think the team and everybody, they deserve, good things and deserve to see this team win.
Chris, just the fact that 2011 you can't even say here, it was in Playa Vista somewhere, different head coach, different GM, the owner obviously was different. Like you were saying, you wanted to help make this a destination place, like a place for people to be. Like, how much pride do you have now, being able to come full circle, with everything that you've experienced both here and in between coming back here? How much pride do you have in making that a reality for this franchise?
It's a lot. It's a lot, and I think you'll see it. And I do realize that was a different time or whatnot, and there's been a lot of guys here who have done a great job in shifting the culture and making it what it is now. And all of the people here that played a role in this. I mean, you gotta think about it. The colors are different, the logo is different, but a lot of the fans have remained the same. And so I think that's what I'm most excited about, is getting here, getting a chance to play alongside Kawhi. Kawhi has been here, with that culture change and all that, and bringing in James and all these different guys. So I'm excited.
Chris, I know you and James are probably two of the more competitive guys in the league. Everyone likes to share that clip of you and him kind of going back and forth on the Rockets bench. Just what is that relationship with him like? Obviously, you guys are hyper competitive, but what is that like, and what were the conversations with him about coming here?
Good question, Square.
We talked about it, and talked about just the history of obviously being there in Houston. And it's funny, man, because that clip or whatnot that goes around, it was a lot of stuff funnier and stuff like that than that. That was just sort of our relationship, you know. But I think that's what made that team so good. You know, we got on each other in different situations, but that team, I can honestly say, it was one of the funnest teams I've ever been on in my career. And James is one of those guys that loves to be in the gym all day long, and so it's wild that you get this opportunity again after those 2 years and the success that we had, and we definitely know we had unfinished business, so we get a chance to see what's going on here.
Oh, unfinished business.
Chris, you've mentioned it feels like coming back home, and you've mentioned this building in particular. When you look back at your time, your first stint with the Clippers, does it seem like this building to you, like you had a large hand in making this a reality?
No, I ain't saying all that, because I couldn't put nothing down on this building. I couldn't put in on none of this, none of this. But no, I think myself, along with all the guys that came before, you know what I mean? Seriously, like there's a whole legacy of Clippers. I mean, Elton Brand, BD, you know, Norm Nixon. You start going back to all them different guys, you know, and especially BG, Blake, DeAndre, all the different guys. But it is different because this isn't where we played, right? So I've watched the building of this building, right? I watched, I think, the first preseason game that was played here. I've paid attention to all of this. You don't have any choice, right? All of us that really have memories and ties to this team, for most guys, I don't care where you go. You know, if you've been with a team and you're that invested, you may go other places, but this will always be special to me. Yep.
That's it? No, stay. CP3, please, don't. Somebody, stop. Podium's it's the other way. Dennis, come on. Oh. Well, he ended it strongly. This place will always be special to me. There's Chris Paul, his introductory press conference with the Clippers at Intuit Dome. A new home, even though he returns back to the Clippers for CP3 in some ways. Welcome back. I'm Adam Oslin. Thanks to NBC4 for the coverage there and making their YouTube channel available. Court B, Q&A. Is that happening? For real? Somebody said that. It's YouTube. You can rewind to the beginning. You're right. Let's go back to what we missed at the very, very beginning of this. I don't want to go too far back here. Let's see. Is it letting me wind back? I don't want to peek in on anybody else's conversation here. I'm going to take it down. Just want to hear from CP3. I heard Tomer talking with somebody. It's not letting me. I think it'll let me reload it here in a second. Okay, here's the very beginning. And even they didn't have the very, very beginning, but we missed the very, very, very beginning for a second because of technical issues on NBA.com. Here it was.
You see all the stories, people saying he only go here if he's starting or if he's doing this. I think for me, the gratitude that I have for being able to play as long as I've had, you know, I think the easiest decision in this sitting right here is my family. You know, it's getting a chance to be around them and be around a lot more and get a chance to compete and play for a championship. And I'm sorry, before I answer anything else, I just want to say thank you so much to, first and foremost, the San Antonio Spurs, to the Hope family, to R.C. Buford, to Greg Popovich.
Yeah.
What it was like to walk through the doors, watch this arena, see your name up on the Halo board, your jersey out there in the locker. Like, what was all that like for you?
Yeah, it's kind of wild, kind of crazy. Still kind of speechless. I'll probably have a lot of words later with my family. You sort of just taking it, the whole experience in right now. This is one of those things I kind of manifested for a long time. Sort of tried to speak it into existence, but you just never know if it's really going to happen. Because I love to hoop. I love to play this game, but I love my family more than any of it. So I have so much gratitude for Steve Ballmer, for L. Frank, T. Lou, Gillian, everybody in the Clippers organization for bringing me in.
Chris, you obviously got your number 3 back, and rightfully so. When you look up at the rafters here, and there's no retired jerseys, and you think about what you've meant to this organization, what would that honor mean to you if you were eventually able to have a number 3 up in the rafters?
It would mean everything.
Good question, Joey.
As the years go by, sometimes you just sort of remember things. You know what I mean? The good times, the bad times, all the different experiences make you who you are. And this fan base from day one, the way they took me and my family in and cheered for us, and aside from the games or whatnot, life. So all my teammates, Blake, DJ, all the guys over the years that it's been a lot of history here, and hopefully we can create more.
Chris, hi, right here. The other day, Lawrence was talking about your relationship with Steve and how you guys have remained cordial over the years since your trade, and how your trade also allowed the Clippers to stay relevant and basically keep competing since then. What has your relationship with Steve Ballmer been like since that time?
You know what's crazy is I actually saw that the other day, and I didn't even think about that. That when I left, how everything sort of happened, right? And me not signing as a free agent. I haven't thought about that. It's just wild. But Steve was.
I think him talking about the domino effect, because he opted into his last year, which let them trade him to Houston to bring in Trez, to bring in Pat Bev and Lou Williams and Sam Decker. CP3 also, I think, ended up getting a bigger deal from Houston afterwards, but there was a huge butterfly effect from that.
Sort of happened, right? And me not signing as a free agent. I haven't thought about that. It's just wild. But Steve was amazing then, been amazing now. I don't know about the rules and all that stuff in the NBA or whatnot. I don't know what people can know or what don't know, but we've stayed text and communicate and stuff like that, just because I was the president of the union, so there's other owners around the league that I've gotten a chance to know. So
no tampering.
Just like anybody else, when this place was being built, I was curious. So I got a chance to reach out to him last summer and wanted to just see the building. So I'm grateful that he showed me around. And so just walking around just now, it's a total different feeling, right? Last time I walked through here, I was just sort of peeking because I didn't know if a guy on the current team was here, and they like, what the hell are you doing here walking around? So, I remember when he first got the team, and I remember meeting him and talking to him about his family and his kids, and I asked him how many games he gonna come to, and one of his kids was playing in high school at the time, and he said that if his kid had a game, he wasn't coming to our game. Right, and I'll never forget it because I appreciated that, because that showed how much his family meant to him more than all of this.
Hi, Chris. Murray at The Athletic. Welcome back home. I don't want to retire you, but
please don't.
Yeah, but let's be real. Like the approach that a lot of fans, a lot of cities, a lot of media, there's going to take over this next year is that they might not get a chance to celebrate you again as you're an active player as you go into this season. So how are you approaching that? Are you sharing that approach, or do you, how open are you?
I'm just in it, to tell you the truth. I'm still in it, right? Day in and day out, enjoying it, right? Because like I said.
So this is where we came in. He doesn't have a foot out the door. Him saying, I'm still in it. He's not thinking about it. I don't think he has 1 foot out. Once you have 1 foot out, you're cooked when it comes to retirement. He's in it. He's a competitor. I'm not worried about CP3, having an eye on retirement or wandering eye, looking the other way and not being fully locked in. He's fully focused.
You live and you learn not to take things for granted. I was home this morning, and tell you the truth, My wife and my kids probably tired of me already, because ever since I got the news, every time we home, I'm just jumping around talking about I'm home, I'm home, I'm home. But I got a chance to lift weights this morning with my son. My daughter, we just came from an AAU tournament for her.
Okay, this is where we jumped in. Thanks again to NBC4 for streaming this. It's important in the city of Los Angeles, especially for Clippers fans. Important nationally. CP3 going back to the Clippers. It's quite the story today. It's a red letter day, as my friend Petros Papadakis would say. This is a huge deal. This is not to be taken lightly. I know some people in here are saying they're almost crying. Some people in Japón are saying that, Japan. He is really coming back. It's made a lot more real today. And regarding his possibility of retiring after this season, to even further the point of Chris isn't thinking about that, Malika Andrews, who didn't sit down and interview with him, I guess, before this, that's going to be released on SportsCenter and NBA Today, she said this on Twitter, quote, in an exclusive interview with ESPN, Clippers point guard Chris Paul says he isn't ruling out playing beyond the 25-26 season. So it's not necessarily over after this for CP3. This could be his last year. Maybe not. I like that it's not set in stone. Even Lawrence Frank at the presser last week when he talked about it, said, you know, it's a decision for Chris. If it's his last year, it's not for sure. And obviously, hey, if he won a championship, maybe he would go right off into the sunset. But there's a lot of work to be done. He did mention, and I guess I could skim through it now and talk about some of these quotes here and just replay what he said and analyze it.
Pets,
But
family,
the parts I'm looking for.
A handful of years ago, and just could you ever comprehend coming back to the team at that point? And then
This is David Benjamin asking him about beating the Clippers in the Western Conference Finals.
a lot of talent. Where do you think your group is in the West, and what's the chance of making another trip to the finals with this group?
And you know what's crazy is I think about that game, right, which I'll never forget.
Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals, Suns Clippers 2021.
Obviously, that was the first time I made it to the NBA Finals. And I think all the emotions that night came from it being my first time going to the finals and doing it here in LA against my extended family. You know, the people that still work for the team or whatnot who have literally watched me grow up, and I looked up and in a box was my family, you know, and if I'm really honest, I wanted to get back and play here by any means necessary, right? I didn't even care what the team
That's what I want to hear.
in the box was my family, you know, and if I'm really honest, I wanted to get back and play here by any means necessary, right?
I wanted to get back and play here by any means necessary. That's what I'm talking about.
If I'm really honest, I wanted to get back and play here by any means necessary, right? I didn't even care what the team looked like. I just want to be home, be here with the Clippers. And to tell you, man, I'm just so excited about the moves that the team has made this offseason, right? And Brad coming to the team, Brooke Lopez, all the young guys. I talked to James, I talked to Kawhi, you know.
That's important. He's talked to James, he talked to Kawhi, he knows Bradley Beal well.
And I'm even more excited about what I think we have a chance to do.
That's why this is not just a nice reunion for the sake of having a reunion in his final season, should this be that. It's not just about that. Number one is winning. That's what's on everyone's mind. That's the number one priority.
I'm even more excited about what I think we have a chance to do.
Chris, right here on the aisle.
Yeah, Andrew Greif.
I think Lawrence had said last week that one of the things that attracted you was the Clippers have a philosophy that they're not going to tear down. Like every year, they're going to try to maximize their chances to win. And you know, a lot's been made about this roster's age, kind of in a younger West. I'm just curious about what you see as this team's path to winning, to being that contender class.
Yeah, I haven't got that deep and thought about it yet, to tell you the truth. But I know that there'll be conversations. There's a lot of time for that. And aside
So
from
he's not exactly ranking them in the Western Conference right now. He's not exactly focused on that part of it. That's okay. We can do that for him.
everything else too, I'm gonna tell you, I'm excited to play for T. Lou, right? See,
T. Lou haters, take the L, stay in shambles. Y'all have taken things way too far at times. Just listen to what Chris Paul says here about Coach Lou.
aside from everything else too, I'm gonna tell you, I'm excited to play for T. Lou, right? See, people probably don't remember T. Lou was my assistant coach when I was here with the Clippers, and we've stayed close over the years or whatnot. And what makes T. Lou different from a lot of coaches, and there's a lot of great coaches in this league, but T. Lou is one of the coaches that I think teams, like, you have to prepare for him too. It's weird being on other teams playing against the Clippers because a lot of times you're just scouting, like, how do we stop Kawhi? How do we stop this? But, you know, just know a lot of teams respect T. Lou and his ability, so I'm excited to be over there too.
Amazing how a lot of you non-coaches and players, non-players are criticizing Coach Lou, and you got a guy, one of the best ever, saying he's coming here wanting to play for him and talking about how you have to strategize when you're going up against Coach Lou. I don't know. I'm going to go with his opinion on Coach Lou over some of the haters, detractors, second guessers here. It doesn't mean he's infallible. Of course, every coach, no coach is perfect, but that's pretty high praise.
Good afternoon and welcome back. So you mentioned that you've had an opportunity to speak with some of your new teammates. I'm just curious as to what those conversations have been like.
Nothing crazy. Just with James and Kawhi and Brad, me and Brad actually worked out together in Augusta. We've known each other for a while. And then some of the, I talked to Bogey, me and Nick texted, but it's the summertime, right? It's just pretty much a check-in, you know, letting guys know that you're excited about this opportunity. And I think because I've played long enough, this is sort of that time where guys get to enjoy their family, enjoy their time off. And when it's time to lock in, we will.
He's not trying to blow anybody up right now in the text messages and the DMs or anything. It's summertime, let them be with their families. But he's had conversations, obviously. That's exciting.
Chris, you mentioned you're thrilled to be back by your family, but how are your kids feeling having dad back in their business?
Okay, we heard this part.
Quick. Yeah,
And it is wonderful that little Chris, he gets to be home. This is not to be overlooked. But we also know he doesn't just want to be home. He wants to still win. While family is always number one, it's good to know that he still has that competitive edge and that drive.
Feel with you and LeBron repping the 40-something crowd in this town?
It's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. Like I said, it's a lot of gratitude or whatnot to still get a chance to play at this age or whatnot. But I've always believed in keep stacking days, right? And that you just have to show up every single day. So that's what I plan on bringing it.
Listen to this leadership here by CP3.
I've always believed in keep stacking days, right? And that you just have to show up every single day. So that's what I plan on bringing to this team, is that no matter, you know, you never get too high, never get too low. You know, my role on this team is obviously different than it's been the past 20 years being in the NBA. But
if you're worried about buy-in, if you're worried about him taking a step back, he just said it right there. He acknowledged it. My role is going to be different than it's been the last 20 years.
No matter, you know, you never get too high, never get too low. You know, my role on this team is obviously different than it's been the past 20 years being in the NBA. But showing up every day, if I can show some of the guys what it looks like every day to clock in and clock out, I'm excited for it.
He's going to help the young guys. He's going to help the vets. Like, the CP3 leadership aspect and that veteran presence and the work ethic and the level of professionalism is going to permeate throughout this team. Not that they were devoid of it, but it adds to it and then some. There's a reason SGA got to this point. He had that first year in OKC with CP3. I think that did wonders for him. A lot of guys have been helped from learning from one of the best to ever do it.
Chris, Grant, nice to meet you. Welcome back.
I was going to acknowledge the fans here.
The fans, when you were here, getting that standing ovation when you're sitting as a fan, what do the fans mean to you? And what did that ovation mean to you? Just getting that.
Remember, he was here. I think it was game 4 of the playoffs. Clippers Denver this year. Was in the crowd, got the standing O.
When you're sitting as a fan, what do the fans mean to you? And what did that ovation mean to you? Just getting that reception from the fans.
Man, it meant everything. I can't imagine what it's going to be like to play here. Even changing teams and playing as a visitor, to come and see a lot of the familiar faces or the fans when I'm around, right? When I'm around during the summer, or my kids on teams, or my daughter's on a team, and the parents say that they're season ticket holders and they've been here for a long time. It's something I don't always take for granted. I remember it was a clip section 114.
This is a great story.
They got a mean air conditioning unit in here, I tell you that much. I tell
Because this presser's too fired. They got to turn up the AC.
you that much. But I remember Clippers section 114, right? Just about every game we used to score a lot of points back then. Obviously, to be 150, 160 now in the league. But it was a section that we would look up at. It was clip section 114. And I remember they always said if we ever scored 114 points on the dot, they would go get tatted. And they did it. They did it. And I remember my brother used to have floor seats, and it was one of the games that he couldn't come to. And I remember Instagramming, telling two of the people who sit there that they could come sit and watch the game there. You know, so the fans here are like none other. They are really fans of the game. So to see the wall and to see all the creativity in here, I'm probably a little biased, but I think the team and everybody, they deserve, you know, good things and deserve to see this team win.
That's really cool. The extent he went to tell that story and that memory about section 114, like he hasn't forgotten about you guys. Remember, he said he was always angling to get back here. This means something. It means something to me. I hope it means something to you. CP3 is a Clipper. When he goes into the Hall of Fame, he's going in as a Clipper. If you got any negative feelings, him playing with other teams, beating the Clippers, whatever, you got to let that go. LA Clips form. You all got to let that go. Welcome him back. Move forward. He's a competitor. We understand that. When he's on the opposition, you can love to hate him. Now, just love to love him. That's what this needs to be. He's one of us. He just said it. He knows his fan base deserves good things.
I'm probably a little biased, but I think the team and everybody, they deserve, you know, good things and deserve to see this team win.
Chris, just the fact that, you know, 2011, you can't even say here, it was in Playa Vista somewhere, different head coach, different GM, the owner obviously was different. Like you were saying, you wanted to help make this a destination place, like a place for people to be. Like, how much pride do you have now being able to come full circle, you know, with everything that you've experienced both here and in between coming back here? How much pride do you have in making that a reality for this franchise?
It's a lot. It's a lot, and I think you'll see it. You know, and I do realize that was a different time or whatnot, and there's been a lot of guys here who have done a great job in shifting the culture and making it what it is now. You know, and all of the people here that played a role in this. I mean, you know, think about it, the colors are different, the logo is different, you know what I mean? But a lot of the fans have remained the same. And so I think that's what I'm most excited about, is getting here, getting a chance to play alongside Kawhi. Kawhi has been here, you know, with that culture change and all that, and bringing in James and all these different guys. So I'm excited.
I like how he's proud to be part of the turning point with this organization. And really, he's being too kind or too humble there, showing too much humility because he was the turning point, he and Blake, of them starting this 14 straight years of winning seasons. But he's also saying, it wasn't just me. Other guys have been here since. And now we got some more for you. This is at Court B. It looks like there's a fan session going on where Brian Seaman is having a sit down with Chris Paul. And so I want to bring you guys this. Fans are in there chanting CP3. So this was a fan event too. I'm so glad they did this. And yeah, I'm a little bit jealous. Maybe I should have been there, but I'm here with the fans who weren't able to be there. We'll be here together.
Times have changed here since you first got here. Let's go back to that time.
Chris was getting emotional there. You could see it written on his face. I don't know if there were any tears, but he was getting emotional there. I just love this. I love getting to bring back. Yes, he's a legacy guy. He's still good. It's not like a legacy sequel 30 years later. This is what it's all about. An ovation like that. It is a true homecoming. Here you can see him walking out. I got another video for you. This is Tuka is trying to steal a smooch from me.
Please welcome Chris Paul.
So they kept going. He sits down. They keep going. Brian gets back up for the extended ovation. Wow. Just amazing. More here. I believe we got, this is coming from, who do we got? Justin Rousseau. This is an event done just right. You get the media and you give them their access. And now you give the fans what they're looking for as well, with Chris Paul having a little sit down with Brian Seaman. Special day here. Apparently he said, "This is crazy." And he said, "Thank you all for being here." He responded to all the chants going on saying, "This is crazy." It is. That place is filled up, as it should be. I want to see, man, if anybody is streaming this, you guys in the chat saying CP3, CP3. Someone saying my cousin was in there. I want to see if there's anything else. If we got any of the quotes coming out, questions from Brian Seaman here. This is a real homecoming, true homecoming. Conquering hero type of affair to have CP3 back. There's still work to be done. If you guys want to see him in his uniform, it's official. It's not AI. Looks good. Looks young. Looks good. 40, he's in tremendous shape, obviously. You say he's a professional athlete. It's not always the case. This guy changed his diet. He changed everything to have this level of longevity. Love it. Repping the red Los Angeles jersey. Ooh, if I still was a big jersey guy, and I'd wear one if it's a Clippers jersey. I've gotten too old. I don't wear a lot of them, but that might be the one for me right there. That might be the one. People in here saying we're stacked. Somebody's saying CP3 will be the first statue add into a dome. I'm still waiting for a guest to come on with me here, but everybody's commenting about CP3 being emotional during the standing ovation he got. Apparently, he said that part of him was missing after leaving the Clippers, highlighting the community as something very meaningful to him, and he's excited to be back in Los Angeles. Just, if I wasn't so dead inside after watching Happy Gilmore 2 and killing my childhood, I might tear up right now. This is incredible. This is a first-class operation in the way they're handling this today, with making it all about the man of the hour, man of the summer right now with the Clippers. I'm so happy he's back, guys. Today it became real. Today it really feels official. You get him in the jersey. You get him talking with the media again. Back with Brian Seaman. I remember my first season with the Clippers was CP3's last year, the 2016-2017 season. So that ended with them losing in 7 in the first round to Utah. I remember I was working with Brian Seaman. I remember post-game interviews with CP3. It's special to me too. I'm frozen. Are you guys able to see me still? Am I here? Is it working? Do you guys got me? Is it that guy's screen or is it me? Maybe it's me. Tuka, is it you? Yes, it's always you. Stop trying to sabotage the show. Stop trying to scratch me. Are you seeing this little menace over here? Hey, Ari. She just wants to play. She's less than a year old. To be expected. I guess I could check the YouTube channel and see if it's still streaming. My computer overheat. Too much heat. Too much fire. No, okay. I can see we're still on. 6 Dodger fans said no audio. Someone's saying no audio. Another person saying I'm good. Someone's saying I'm frozen. Someone's saying no audio. I think I'm good. I think it might be on your side. Let me see. Tuka, oh my God. Slight intermission here while I get attacked. Okay, the guy who said I wasn't good is now saying I'm good. So I'm assuming he heard me. And that means the audio is working. NBA Today, that interview we talked about earlier, maybe we should watch it. Would you guys like that? Apparently, we're connected. We're fine. We're all fine here. How are you? Thanks for the update, guys. Let me see if there's any more from CP3, or should we go through the NBA Today interview? Did he do this, or is this just? I don't care about these people's roundtable analysis. I want to see the Malika Andrews interview with him. Oh yeah, I don't see that here. Maybe that will be coming out later this week. Probably. Let me check. See if we have any more updated content. Chris Paul. Oh my God, Tuka. Here, show them the demon you're at. You want to go goblin mode on me? Can you guys see her okay? I'm fighting for my life out here. Let me see. Okay, NBA.com posted the full video. Okay, so the video is everywhere now on YouTube. I don't know if there's any updates, anything we're missing. Some people are saying CP3 coming back just feels right. Reunited and it feels so good. Julia said CP3 was Zubats, Kawhi, Derek Jones, and Bogey. Harden with Lopez, Collins, Dunn, and Beal in a stretch 5. Dunn is fast, and Beal in transition without Zubats is better. Would be cool if they had a Lob City tribute night. There's going to be a lot of tribute nights with John Collins and Derek Jones Jr. catching lobs from Chris Paul. Don't worry about that. There's going to be plenty of tributes. There'll be a lot of homage, throwbacks to throwdowns. Trying to see if anything else came out of the Fan Fest at Court B with CP3. Make sure we got you guys with everything. Still got an interview coming up. Let me check in with my guest here. Let me know when you're ready. Send email. CP3 game 7 shot over Tim Duncan, or his game 6 with the Suns taking us out at home. I don't know which stirs up more emotion. Okay, both sides. This cat is too excited. CP3 coming back. Tuka. Look at you. Look at you. Under the hot lamp. This is an interrogation room now. Why would you bite the boy's finger? All right. I still got an interview for you guys. Don't worry about that. I think. I just don't know how long the Fan Fest is going. I hope they're getting plenty. They've waited almost 10 years for this return. So take up all of CP3's time as you need. I see that Brian Seaman had a long index card of questions for Chris Paul. Absent said, I hope Zubac continues getting touches like he did last season. I don't want him to be ignored on offense like in previous years. I agree with you. That is kind of one of my concerns. I do want to bring you a couple of numbers. I mentioned earlier how much Chris Paul is going to help out James Harden. James Harden played 2,789 minutes in the regular season last year at the age of 35. He was an all-star. He was an all-NBA selection. Third team. This is coming from La Murray. That's only the 34th season in NBA history by a player who played at least 2,700 minutes at age 35 or older. The only players who followed up a season with that kind of workload at that age and made an all-star appearance the following season are Hall of Famers Wilt Chamberlain, John Havlicek, Artis Gilmore, Robert Parrish, Karl Malone, Jason Kidd, KD. None of those players were guards responsible for both scoring and primary playmaking, as Law wisely points out with James Harden. So the point is, Chris Paul can really alleviate that burden and take some of the workload away from James Harden so he can be as fresh as possible when he is out there. That's what we need. Then this came from Jason Timp of Hoops Tonight. He does a really good job. Love his analysis, not hot take BS. Just straight hooper, knows the advanced analytics. And here's some great analytics regarding Chris Paul. Chris Paul last season ran 192 pick and rolls. He generated 959 points out of those pick and rolls. That's 1.08 points per possession as the lead ball handler in the pick and roll. There were 24 players that ran at least 800 pick and rolls. That 1.08 point per possession ranked 8th ahead of Steph, Ant, Trae Young, Jason Tatum, James Harden, Cade Cunningham. He was 8th in pick and roll efficiency last year. CP3. You think he's old? You think he's washed? Think he's Happy Gilmore too? Think again. Now, who could be his roller this year? It's not just Ivica Zubac, but Brook Lopez. Oh, you think he's washed because he's 37. Well, guess what? Brook Lopez, as the roll man last season, scored 1.2 points per possession. That was top 5 in the NBA among all players who logged at least 200 roll man touches. That two-man duo can do some damage. I know it'll be great with Zoo. He can be great with Brooke Lopez as well. I am excited. More excited than Tuka, who's scratching and clawing her way to getting on. Look at this. Look at this little Tasmanian devil. She thinks this is okay. This is normalized. We've normalized our cat scratching us like this because it's cute. Look at these claws. Look at this. Razor blades. Were you in the Deadpool Wolverine movie? Were you the stunt double? My God. You a Michigan fan? Well, Bianca Batuka went there. And she is Tuka. Sorry for the cat props. Just stalling here for our guest, and I'm trying to see if there's any more important, pertinent, critical, pivotal quotes coming out from CP3 having a sit-down conversation with Brian Seaman. He walked out, got the standing ovation, overcome by emotion. This is what it means to be back home. This is what it means to be a Clipper. Chris Paul. All right, we got some stuff. When it comes to this season, his approach is to just trying to be in it. He's not committing to this being his final year. That just came out. He said he's been a big fan of Ivica Zubats for a while. There was a zoo chant there. He did nutmeg him once when Ivica Zubats was a member of the Lakers and Chris Paul was a Rocket. But he's just trying to be in it. He's not thinking about the future. He's locked in, just like he always is. Because when you're a professional athlete and you got 1 foot out the door for retirement, you're already there. Because these guys grind so hard, you have to be fully committed at all times, or it's not going to work. Chris Paul is aware that they've been calling us, quote, he says they've been calling us the unction. They've been calling us the unction. He knows about it. That's great. The nicknames. I like the Pacific Ocean's 11 because this 11-man rotation they have, they're 11 men deep. That Law Murray's been giving them. That's a good nickname. Tuka, now, why are you attacking? Look at this. Look at this. Look at the lack of respect. Oh, yeah. You get down. All right. I'm going to... Remember the old cat video where the guy's trying to work for the adoption agency and like, hey, it's such a sweet cat. It's this orange cat and it just scratches the living F out of him. Please come adopt this cat. Look at you. Same thing. Would anyone like to take Tuka off my hands? A little fighting you. I like that. Good Lord. She just wants to play all the time. She's like 8 months old. I don't know what I was expecting. Any marks? You know, I got this scar. Damn. I thought domesticated household cat. Past, present, future talks said all the uncles worldwide pulling up to the Clippers this season for the unction takeover of the league. Why isn't one of my cats named Bingo? That would have been a good name too. Shout out Ralph Lawler. Mark Jag said if guys buy in and sacrifice for the team, they can contend for a championship. And you know, if they stay healthy, there's that whole part. But sure, you're not wrong. I'm less worried about the buy-in aspect of it, especially after hearing from Chris Paul today. It always comes down to health. And when you're an even older team, it's a little bit concerning. But the plan is, with all this depth, guys don't have to go as hard and they can stay fresh during the regular season. Just cycle in one 30-year-old for another. They shouldn't have to be overtaxed because they're so deep and so talented. You can keep the player next to you fresh by doing your part, pulling on the rope in the same direction. God, I feel like I'm bleeding. There will be blood on Clippers Talk if you didn't know. Tuka drinking my milkshake. All right, we got a guest joining us here in just a second. This is the Chris Paul reintroductory press conference edition of Clippers Talk to give you a little bit of a reset. Earlier in the show, kind of put a nice little bow on the Happy Gilmore 2 conversation we had on Saturday. Listen to CP3, who talked with the media for about 18 minutes, said all the right things, and really reached out to Clipper Nation to express how much he appreciates being back and how he has longed to be a Clipper again. He's always been trying to get back. So really cool to see him acknowledge the fans in this way, knowing what this means to the city, to Clipper Nation. Perfectly handled. Then actually got to talk to the fans with Brian Seaman on Court B afterwards. Cool they hosted that event as part of this. This is just Clippers organization knowing how to do something like this the right way. When you got an all-time player returning to the team, you got to roll out the red carpet, make them feel right back at home, and make fans rekindle that connection with CP3. There was a love affair with Chris Paul and this fan base. I know some of you guys soured when he left, but I think those cold hearts by the very few are melting right now. Just seeing him in a Clippers uniform, answering the questions with the media as a Clipper again, it has to tug at your heartstrings a little bit. Now, is that what's most important? No, winning is. And that's what he's here to help do. Does anyone have a better backup reserve point guard in case of emergency insurance plan than the Clippers? Does anyone have one better than CP3? Because I'm pretty sure if James Harden misses a game or two, Chris Paul can seamlessly start and run the offense. Does any other team have a better chance of doing that when their all-star point guard goes to the bench than the Clippers? I don't think so. I can't think of one, honestly. Who's got a better point guard to pass the baton to than Chris Paul? Should you get James Harden some rest? Should he not play 79 games like he did last year? Somebody who covered the Clippers for all of those games and then some would be Tomer Azarly from Clutch Points, joining us from the car. Drive safely, Tomer. I see the seatbelt is on. Shout out Ralph Waller again. Let's go. Thanks for joining me here on Clippers Talk.
Thanks for having me, Adam. Seatbelt is on. No one is in the back seat. We're clear of any interferences. So all good. All good. How you doing?
I like how you euphemized it to interferences. If you guys
Look,
don't know,
we gotta keep it classy and mix it up, you know?
yeah. Everyone, close on when Tomer Azarly is joining Clippers Talk. We can't have another incident. Now,
By the way, he hates that I reference this all the time. He absolutely hates it.
your brother?
He despises it.
Well, I'm sorry. He shouldn't have been changing in the background after the gym or whatever it was while you were on the air. Apparently, just so you know, I'll do my part. I can see you. Your camera is working. So, no funny business. All right. Chris Paul, very professional, buttoned up. What was your biggest takeaway from his presser with the media? What did you glean? What did you learn today about him returning to the Clippers?
I don't even know if you can pick out one thing. I mean, I think I'll start with one of the biggest things for me was his non-commitment to retiring after this year. I think he had made some comments at a film festival where he said this is probably going to be his last year. And, I think it was Law who asked him, he said, I'm not going to retire you. And he goes, please don't retire me. So I think he's just focusing on playing this year out here at home and being closer to his family and a chance to win a championship. You never know. This could be one of those situations where his career maybe extends another year because he doesn't have to do as much on the team. So are you okay?
Oh, my cat is okay. There was this episode of Tasmania. I don't know if you ever watched the cartoon with the Tasmanian devil from Looney Tunes where he's being stalked and attacked by this black cat all the time. And now I'm like living it right now with this little, I don't know. It's an adolescent. It's not a kitten, but it's not an adult. It's like an 8-month-old cat. I'm sorry. It is cat scratch fever on Clippers Talk today. It is ridiculous.
No, I mean, just stay safe out there. I know it can be a little dangerous.
Yeah, I'm going to need a seatbelt or one of those. You know when they train the attack dogs and they put them in like all that foam? That's what I need.
Oh, yeah.
Like the Marshmallow Man or something. Michelin Man.
Yeah, I think that was one of the takeaways, that he's just not committing to retiring. Another one was I asked him about James Harden, and he said his relationship with him is fine. I think the people. He also mentioned, I mentioned the clip that everyone likes to bring up, which is him on the Rockets bench going back and forth with James, and he mentioned that there were so many more funny things, and that was just the nature of their relationship, and that James is the guy who loves to be in the gym just like Chris. So he's looking forward to getting back out there with James and having a second chance to do it here.
That was a great question by you. He mentioned unfinished business there. Do you think, just like with what Lawrence Frank said last week, how number one, he can still help us, and number two, it's great to have an all-time franchise legend back, that is the same thing with Chris Paul. Like, this is still about winning first and foremost.
Yeah, look, I don't. Winning is important. I'm not going to say it's not. Winning is definitely important. But
obviously, being back with his family is the most important. But
yeah,
I'm just saying,
they're shooting down the sentimental part of it. The fact that he's back home with his family. I feel like they're trying to minimize how important that is. I feel like it's been a very big part of Chris, who he is. He mentioned just now at the fan event that I had to leave a little early. He mentioned how much community is big for him aside from family, and he actually got emotional watching fans chant CP3. Like, he was introduced by Brian Seaman, and I think he didn't say a word for the first minute or so, just as fans were cheering for him. So and he got emotional. Then he said how much community is important to him, and he didn't realize how much he missed it until he left. Because after this, he had 2 years in Houston, 3 years in Phoenix, I want to say.
Forget OKC in between there.
Oh yeah, OKC. But he was never in any one spot more than 2 years. So this is the last place that he really had community in. So he mentioned how important that was to him, and he got emotional. And so going back to what you asked, I think they're kind of minimizing how important the just having a franchise legend is and how much he wanted to be back here. He mentioned this is a goal for him to come back here. And so obviously you can still contribute on a high level on a basketball court as a leader, as a locker room kind of mentor. So I think you really got the whole package with him. But I think Lawrence has mentioned specifically the basketball aspect of it, and I understand why. But I think it's also, I think, very important for this franchise to get him back and kind of give this the proper end to his career. Maybe this year, the next year, whatever it is, give him kind of the nice ending that he deserves.
How much do you think he can help this team from a leadership aspect? Because I thought it was, really important that he made that distinction that this is different than, he said, obviously it's different than it's been the last 20 years, accepting his role on this team as being different than it has been in the past. But he talked about, showing up every day and just clocking in and clocking out and helping guys understand what that means as a professional. How much can that impact winning with this team, you think?
No, I mean 100%. I mean, Chris probably has. I mean, Chris has one of the highest IQs of a basketball player probably of all time. So to be able to not
Knows the
only
rule
learn
book.
from that, but just, huh?
Knows the rule book too.
Yeah. So just to have a guy like that on your team, not only not going against it, but then having that on your team, I think is just the possibilities are endless because you can have him kind of mentoring some of the young guys. You can probably see parts of the floor differently than maybe some of the other guys on the team. I think he and James are two of the greatest passers we've ever had in this game. But I'm sure there's things they pick up off one another. Just playing alongside each other. We saw in Houston when they were playing together. That was just a machine. That was a well-oiled machine over there. And so, I think there's so much you can do with a guy as talented as Chris Paul, as experienced as him, and as smart as him. I think there's so many different things. He mentioned having conversations with Kawhi and James and Nico, and so, I think especially for a guy like John Collins, who since he's played with Trey, he hasn't really had a great point guard to kind of set him up. He's going to have James Harden and Chris Paul. Like, talk about a big man's dream right there for Zoo, for Giannis, and Zoo for Brook Lopez playing with Giannis, and now for Yannick is what I meant to say as well. So, I mean, Chris is just going to be a fantastic piece on this team. Whether he plays or not, he's going to be very impactful, and you know that from the bench too.
You heard it here first. Tomer Azarly from Clutch Points projecting that Giannis Antetokounmpo will sign with the Clippers eventually. I'm kidding. I've made the same mistake. It's easy to do, Yannick and Giannis. He preys upon Coach Lou and wanting to play for him as a head coach now, obviously, who was an assistant when Chris was a Clipper for a period of time. How much do you think Coach Lou is going to enjoy having another floor general, an extension of him out there? And how much do you think he's going to use CP3? They keep talking about reserve role guy. Do you think, though, he may get more consistent minutes just because Coach Lou feels comfortable with him?
I mean, I think this is a team. I can't recall a team actually that I've seen that is actually like 11 deep like this, or 10 or 11 deep, where you can make a case for two guys on their bench probably that could start somewhere else. Like Nico Batum probably could start elsewhere. Brook Lopez was a starter. Like Chris Dunn was a starter in Utah. Derrick Jones, like they have so many starting caliber players. So like I think Chris is going to be an interesting kind of tool and guy for Ty Lue to use. Another thing that stuck out now that you mentioned was Chris mentioned that as an opponent, you don't just prepare. The special thing about Ty Lue is you don't just prepare for a James Harden and a Kawhi Leonard. You have to prepare for Ty Lue as well, and his adjustments and his little quirks and how he likes to coach the game. Like he said, that's something that as a player and as an opponent, you actually have to prepare for, which you don't hear that about very many guys, very many coaches at all in this league.
You definitely don't hear that level of love from some people in Clipper Nation towards Coach Lue. I know that.
Yeah, no shortage of that stuff. But look, I think at any given time you're going to have either a great passer on the floor out there with James or Chris, a great scorer, or a high level defender, and like Chris Dunn. Like I think the guard position is absolutely set for them. I think the biggest thing is going to be accepting there are times where guys aren't going to play. I think when you look at last year, especially, James Harden played 79 games. I think he was one of like 16 players to do so or something like that, at least 79 games. He's second in total minutes last year, so like at 35 and a half minutes, and then second in total minutes. So like you don't want him to do that again. You really don't want him to have to play that much again. Now, part of that was Kawhi was out for much of the year, but first part of the year. So now that Kawhi is back, and now that you have a great playmaking option at the point guard position with Chris here, like you don't have to rely on James to play 35 minutes a night anymore. You really don't. You shouldn't, in my opinion, anyways. Like I think James should probably hit about 29 to 30, and I know he wants to play a lot, but there should be no reason why those guys play so much, especially in the regular season when you have so many options. I think using your depth is going to be a key to getting to the postseason healthy and kind of seeing what you can do there. Obviously, we know that's very matchup based, but I just don't see a reason why guys should be playing more than they were last year. I think at some level you do want to test it out and make sure that Kawhi can play 40 minutes if necessary in a close game,
Sure.
or James can go to an overtime game and be good, or a back to back or something like that. But maybe later in the season. But early parts of the season, there's no need to kind of kill guys early minutes wise. There's just no need for that.
Yeah, maybe a team comes to mind for you, but I was saying this earlier. I don't know if any team in the league has a better backup option at the point guard position that can replicate and bring a lot of continuity to the group out there when their starting point guard is down. Like, I don't know who has a better option if your starting point guard is down that is an all-star level tier type of starting guard. Who else has a better option than the Clippers? Because I'm assuming if James Harden's out for a game, he's slotted right in. He's starting.
Yeah, I mean, just off the top of my head, the most recent one I can think of is probably the Spurs last year when they got De'Aaron Fox and they had Chris Paul coming off the bench. Like, I really can't think about that because I think we're in an era where it's a lot of wings and forward and what's the word I'm looking for?
Switchability, versatility.
Switchability, yeah.
Positionless.
Versatility, yeah. Positionless and switchability, but versatility especially. That you don't see a lot of the Chris Paul type players anymore. So to have a guy as smart as him, as veteran savvy as him, to know all the little. You just mentioned the rule book. He knows the rules, and he's going to try to exploit those. I know when he left the Clippers, a lot of people were mentioning certain things they saw. Now that they're on the other end of it, so hopefully. Now that he's on their end, it'll be less noticeable to some of Clipper Nation. But yeah.
Last one for you on that note. You were in there at Court B with the fan session he did with Brian Seaman and then giving him that standing ovation, as you mentioned. How much do you think Chris Paul can melt the ice cold hearts of those who are still a little bit bitter when he first left? Because just seeing him today in a Clippers uniform and not being AI and seeing him talk with you guys in the media again as a Clipper, to me, that's all I need. It's official now. It's happening, and I am really excited.
Are there people who still feel bitter or salty about him leaving? I don't know.
I don't know. There's a couple podcasts that I heard express those views.
He could have opted out and left in free agency. And I know that, in order for the Rockets to get him, they needed him to opt in. But he also didn't leave them high and dry.
Right.
It worked out in a way where they got Lou and Pat Bev and Trez and Sam Decker and one other piece that I think they may have waived, one or two other pieces. So they got pieces back, and those ended up helping the Clippers build for the 2-1-3 era. So it's not like he left them high and dry. In a way, it's kind of like a full circle moment where, you got Kawhi and Paul, and eventually you got James, and then Paul leaves, and then James and Kawhi here, and you get Chris back for the possible end of his career. If people are salty, I don't really know why. They have no reason to be. Brian mentioned it to start the Q&A. The Clippers have 14 straight winning seasons, and all of that can pretty much be traced back to Chris. I mean, Blake and DJ obviously play a significant role in that, but Chris's arrival in that trade in December of 2011, I believe it was the starting point for kind of the change in trajectory. So I really don't know why anyone would be salty if they are about Chris leaving in 2018 or whatever, 2017, whatever it was.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think everybody just has to embrace him, and if you got to lean into the nostalgia to do that, that's fine. You can also embrace him just because he's still a really good basketball player and he can help this team win this season. He is Tomer Azarly. I've heard you've overcompensated so much by having that wardrobe malfunction in the background before on a Zoom call with me that you actually have one of those sports cover bras on the front of the car on the hood. Like you put one on there just for this interview. Is that true?
Yes. I wanted to make sure that there's no, just cover all my bases, make sure there's no accidents, no issues. I don't want the car to my right to show anything, just make sure your show is 100% set for YouTube or FCC or whatever needs to be, whoever is watching your content.
Family friendly.
There you go. Family friendly.
For the Paul family as well.
It's funny. My first year covering the league in person, covering the Clippers, was Chris Paul's final year. That year where they lost the Jazz in the
same with me.
playoffs.
That was my
Yeah.
first year.
So it's very weird to like I remember being in the gym in that old Honey training center before it was called Honey, and like doing the practices, and it was like 3 or 4 of us. It was like me, Dan Wojcicki, Brad Turner, like I think Rowan Kavner was still there. And it's like, man, what a weird time. That was like 8 or 9 years ago, and now he's back. We're still doing this, and he's still playing. It's just a very, very weird weird moment to look at. Like when I watched him walk in today, I was like, huh, this is interesting. This is make me feel old, but
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Chris Paul being back with the Clippers makes you reflect on your own life a little bit and where you've come or how far you've come. And hey, you're doing it big now for Clutch Points. At Tomer Azarly is where you find him on X. At TOMERAZARLY. Appreciate your coverage as you've been doing it since 2016 for this team, Tomer. Thanks for doing it today here on Clippers Talk and helping me out while driving, no less. Drive safe, my friend.
Of course. Thank you. Appreciate it, Adam. Have a good one. Thank you.
Be good. There goes Tomer Azarly. Love him. One of my favorites. Didn't have to do this. Kind of risked his life a little bit because he was doing it while driving. We multitask all the time. People are on the car phone. What's the difference? The car phone. What year is it? Jumanji reference? All right. CP3 has returned. He's back. It's official. It's a good day. I feel better about life. As much as Happy Gilmore 2 depressed me, I am uplifted now. This was heartening. It was good to be here with you guys. I'm glad I did this show and I wasn't at Intuit Dome to get to ask a question or get to talk with Brian Seaman or all these. No, I am. I love y'all. I'm Adam Osland. You've been listening to another edition of Clippers Talk.